Professor Oak is causing Pokemon species to go extinct, so I've redesigned them to survive in the wild for themselves. Kia ora Pokemon trainers, I'm Professor Cody. Starter Pokemon are unusual species. They're unable to be encountered in the wild except under very specialized situations because they've become critically endangered. The increasing population of humans has created urbanization, climate change, and pollution, and these are pushing these species to the brink of extinction. You're probably familiar with the old school Professor Ash's dad, Professor Oak. He's a quirky researcher with a passion for Pokemon poetry and has a really weird cousin. Oak popularized breeding endangered species and giving them as starter Pokemon to new trainers, a tactic that's now shared by many professors around the world. Tracking each trainer's Pokemon data helped Oak to learn more about these species by increasing the number of people raising these Pokemon, but this caused two unfortunate scenarios. Some of these trainers mass-bred these Pokemon, looking for those ultra-rare shiny forms, just to doom the accumulated hundreds of newborn Pokemon by releasing them into the harsh environments that they're not designed to thrive in. And secondly, those competitive trainers who wanted that Squirtle with water spout, so they had to chain breed a Wailord to then get that move onto a Blastoise. It takes a lot of work and disabling the security cameras to achieve that. That was a hypothetical statement and not from personal experience. The whole problem centers around how Oak's solution for endangered species doesn't address the reasons as to why they're running towards extinction. So to fix this, I chose new habitats for these Pokemon species, while also changing their types and visuals to better equip them to survive in modern Kanto. Let's start with Bulbasaur's line. Until now, Bulbasaur's typing has been grass and poison. They're best suited to vast grasslands and some forests where there isn't too much competition for food. However, due to urbanization replacing these verdant habitats with sprawling concrete jungles, Bulbasaur's line would be pushed more and more into consolidated pockets of undisturbed forest. We see a lot of other grass and poison types thriving in these environments, but all of these Pokemon have more plant-based biology, which seems to give them higher chances for survival. So Bulbasaur is losing the competition for resources against these other creatures that are better equipped for their environments. I imagine these Pokemon would be driven away from the main areas of the forest and into the nearby caverns. For this experiment, I've given them the grass and dark types. Their iconic flower on their backs transforms into a symbiotic fungus, suited to thriving in the darker environments they now inhabit.
Bulbasaur, the Darkspore Pokemon. It uses its enhanced nocturnal vision and stealthy nature to move silently through the shadows. The fungus on its back releases spores as a defensive mechanism and glows slightly to attract prey.
Its evolved form, IVYSAUR, improves upon this transformation, becoming more ferocious in its attacks. With an uncanny ability to blend into the shadows, they master the art of ambush and stealth, hunting the local rock and ground types.
IVYSAUR, the Shadow Vine Pokemon. The fungus on IVYSAUR's back continues to grow, enhancing its abilities and further aiding in its camouflage. It has developed the ability to release spores that induce sleep in its opponents, and its vines are now adorned with thorny dark tendrils, providing additional defenses and delivering powerful strikes.
VENUSAUR becomes a strategic predator, using its glowing fungus as lures for other Pokemon. It then draws them into the shadows before releasing a cloud of hallucinogenic spores, making its prey confused and easier to catch.
VENUSAUR, the Fungal Behemoth Pokemon. VENUSAUR's back is dominated by a massive mushroom-like fungus, which releases a toxic gas cloud as a potent defensive mechanism causing hallucinations. VENUSAUR's mushroom now allows it to penetrate the ground and drains nutrients from it for sustenance.
This possibility for Bulbasaur's line would give it room to thrive in an underground environment. It would be able to feed on the other abundant rock and ground type Pokemon that currently have no notable predators and would help to keep their populations manageable. The Charmander line can feel somewhat tricky as there isn't any particular fire-centric areas in Kanto. However, we are aware that Charizard have been known to live in mountainous areas. Unfortunately, these areas are also under threat. While Charizard used to be able to raise their young in the snowy peaks, the frigid heights providing them with ample prey in the form of ice-type Pokemon, the snow lines are receding due to global warming. This has had the unexpected effect of more rock and ground types emerging to live on the surface of the mountains, placing Charizard and their young under threat, thus driving Charizard down from the mountains. As we move Charmander's line to a new space, Charmander is now even harder to find than previously, not because of its lack of population, but its tiny size. This tiny Pokemon hides underneath the undergrowth from the forest. The towering trees and dense foliage offer shelter and abundant prey in the form of grass-type Pokemon, allowing them to sustain their fiery powers and nourish their ever-growing flames.
Charmander, the ethereal flame Pokemon. Charmander has become much smaller, being able to hide easily among the foliage of the forests. Its once iconic tail flame now looks like a glowing berry, used for luring in small prey. In the night, its glowing tail looks like wandering spirits travelling the forest.
Charmeleon becomes sleeker and sneakier. Its physique allows it to rapidly ascend and descend tree trunks, allowing it to both hunt on the ground and in the canopy. They now take an interest in building small dwellings, almost nest-like, in the most colourful parts of the forest. It keeps its home safe through illusions and trickery.
Charmeleon, the enchanting ember Pokemon. Upon evolution, Charmeleon boasts a sleek and agile physique. Its flames emit an enchanting glow that captivates all who behold it. Charmeleon has mastered the art of fire-based illusions, disorientating foes with its bewitching displays.
Charizard is much smaller than its fire-flying counterpart, now only standing 2 to 3 feet high, and comes out as a fire and fairy type. Gaining the ability to fly now allows it to hunt through every inch of the forest, but they don't become too overpopulated, as they like to form territories which can range for miles, and only keep a small family cluster within that. The addition of their fairy type allows them to communicate with the forest inhabitants.
Charizard, the luminous ember Pokemon. Charizard maintains a smaller size for enhanced forest mobility. Its wings have become translucent, displaying magical patterns that shimmer in the light. The berries that sit upon its tail and the colours of its wings radiate a multicolored glow, imbued with the essence of fairy magic, and take on a healing property, providing warmth and soothing comfort.
This adaptation for the Charmander line would provide a new apex predator for the forest, but they'd be spaced out enough that they wouldn't completely wipe the forest clean of other Pokemon. Squirtle's evolutions are typically freshwater species of Pokemon. They once thrived in the pristine springs and waterways of ancient Kanto. However, with people came urbanization. Humans built their towns on the pure water springs, redirecting rivers and piping water away from their natural sources, draining the original wetlands in the process. As the connection of pipes severed their ties to the pure water springs, the Squirtle line faced a dire predicament. They were now forced to either live in the now polluted waterways near towns, or tackle the treacherous depths of the salty oceans. I imagine Squirtles to develop into water poison types, their bodies adapting to cope with the changing landscapes and the pollution entering the waters they lived in. Because of these evolutionary changes, Squirtle would begin to gather near town waterways where there is less competition from other Pokemon.
Squirtle, the toxin turtle Pokemon. Now with a soft shell and sleeker form designed for swift aquatic maneuverability, Squirtle's slim and agile form allows it to navigate narrow channels with ease. With its poisonous claws, it can deliver venomous strikes, making it a formidable force in battles against both land and water-based opponents.
Evolving into WARTORTLE, it now develops specialized organs in its body to filter the toxic substances from water, storing the pollution for later. The toxins they absorb begin to be stored in their shell spikes and in their tails. These WARTORTLE would develop a preference for polluted water, fighting each other to consume the most pollution to show themselves stronger.
WARTORTLE, the venomous torrent Pokemon. Its toxic resistance has been further strengthened, enabling it to withstand even more potent poisons. Venomous spikes now adorn its shell, providing enhanced defense and a means to deliver potent venomous strikes. Its tail is capable of spraying toxic water jets which corrode enemies.
As it evolves into Blastoise, this toxin-absorbing ability begins to soften its shell, and it develops a full array of poisonous cannons. Physical hits against this Pokemon cause the cannons to explode, damaging the attacker and coating the battlefield in a toxic fog. Its long tail contains poisonous microbarbs all through the strands, and even brushing up against it can cause paralysis in non-poison types.
Blastoise, the toxic torrent Pokemon. Blastoise is a behemoth of power and toxicity. It can eject poisonous sludge from its cannons, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. It can also emit a toxic mist that coats the battlefield, creating a hazardous environment for its adversaries.
The Squirtle line would likely live in harmony with people, keeping the local waterways free from pollution and ensuring a clean environment for other water types to live in. How would you recommend we stop these species from going extinct? Let me know in the comments, and have an amazing Pokemon journey.